31 and 8.
Right?
Yep.
All right, I got it. All right, Ezekiel chapter 31, verse 8. It says, the cedars in the garden of the Most High could not hide him. The fir trees were not like his boughs, and the chestnut trees were not like his branches,
Mm-hmm.
nor any tree in the garden of the Most High was like unto him in his beauty.
Right. That's like saying, look, the Hamites are not like Jake. All right.
Right.
Jake, Hamites, although Hamite could wear the same clothes that Jake could wear, the same exact thing, but they'll rock it different.
Yep.
A whole different spirit. Esau is not like Jake. All right. His walk, his talk is totally different. They can't dance. Well, hell, shit, none of those heathens could dance. And if they so happen to look like a heathen, and if they dance, they could get down or rap or sing real bad, man, shit, then there's a possibility, all right, that they're Jakes, you know.
Right, because now everything's been mixed. Jake been mixed. The Lord mixed Jake throughout all the
Disperse
nations.
them amongst the nations.
Disperse them amongst the
That's
nations.
part of the curse.
But that's right. So now when you read on, verse 9, it says, I have made him fair by the multitude of his branches,
Mm-hmm.
so that all the trees of Eden that were in the garden of the Most High envied him.
Mm-hmm.
So now, again, if that's talking about a regular tree, how the hell can a tree envy somebody?
That's right.
Give me scientific proof, I guess, even though that science is bullshit. But give me some proof where trees envy people. There's no such thing.
No such thing at all.
Those trees, again, are talking about the other nations.
Right.
And now, so I'm going to read that one more time, if I may, brother. It says, I have made him fair. I mean, how did the Most High make him fair? Well, the him is talking about Adam anyway, first and foremost.
Mm-hmm.
And the Most High made him fair by what? Giving him the law, statutes, and commandments.
That's right.
So that's why in the second verse, when the woman said, we may eat of the fruit of the tree of the garden, that's how the Most High made him fair. Meaning what? The Most High gave him law, statutes, and commandments where they could follow. He gave him a guideline. He gave him a guide. He was their God.
Right.
He told them what the sacrifice. They knew what the sacrifice back then.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So they didn't need to go. Basically, they went looking for other lovers, man. Israel started playing the harlot back then, going back during the time of Adam.
Right.
So, but then it says, I have made him fair by the multitude of his branches, so that all the trees of Eden, I mean, all the other nations that was in eastward in Eden, in that paradise, which is today called Israel.
Right.
It says that were in the garden of the Most High envied him, meaning the other nations envy Adam. Going back to what? Deuteronomy, what was that? The 4th chapter, verse 6 and 7, when it tell you all the other nations envied Adam because of the law, statutes, and commandments.
Right. Just like we read in the book of Josephus about Abraham,
Right.
They found out that his way and his understanding of the Most High was way better. So, they praised him, but yet they envied him because they didn't understand how he had that wisdom. It was because the Most High was with him,
Right, and you know what? In the other nations, and that's how they knew a lot about us, man, because they knew that if the Most High, and they said it throughout time, they said the Most High is with them, you ain't fucking with them.
Right.
That was the bottom line.
Right.
All right, but now, back to Genesis, the 3rd chapter, right?
Yep.
And now we had, I'll read verse 3 again. It says, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, the Most High have said, you shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die.
Right, meaning, but of the fruit, meaning the philosophy of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, meaning from the other nations, the philosophy of the other nations, Most High has said, ye shall not eat of it, meaning to learn of that way, neither shall ye touch it lest ye die, which pretty much is is going into the philosophies, which is, and pretty much is what it is witchcraft, man. It's the wicked side pretty much of the zodiac, because the zodiac, which the zodiac is in the scriptures when you go to Revelation, the 21st chapter, all right, it was righteous, for the healing of the nations, like the scriptures say, so that man could learn, their way, navigation throughout the earth and different things,
right,
that it gave. But right now it's on the wicked side, because why? Because the wicked are ruling,
Right. Well, yeah, and that vibration, like right now, the Levites, the Most High blocked that way. The Levites used to be able to look in the Urim and Thummim and basically go back into the future and able to judge a crime. You know, so now.
Right. They also had the Urim and the Thummim, which today the Urim and the Thummim exist today.
Mm-hmm.
What is it called? It is the internet, pretty much.
Yeah.
Esau thinks it's a new thing. No, the Urim and the Thummim is pretty much was the ancient internet, and it showed you what went on. It'll rewind to a certain point.
Right.
That was something somebody did. You can do the same thing on the internet.
Which the Most High allowed
It's
this.
the
the Most High's work.
That's right.
So now, and again, further, when it says you should not eat of it, lest you die, which is what? Because once you start worshiping these other philosophies, following after the other nations and their gods, what are you doing? Now you're what? You're sinning. The scriptures say the wages of sin are what? Death.
Death. Yep.
All right. So
now, I got Revelation 20. It is 20. I said 21, but it's the
21st,
22nd,
second chapter.
22nd, Revelation 22 verse 1, and it says, this is Saint John speaking, and he says, and he showed me a pure river of water of life, clear as crystal, proceeding out of the throne of the most High and of the Lamb.
Right. Which basically that's dealing with today they call it the ozone layer.
Right.
Which is the firmament that you read about in Genesis, the first chapter, which covers around the whole earth.
That's right. And it says, verse 2, in the midst of the street of it, and on either side of the river was there the tree of life.
Right. Within, you can see it within the inner atmosphere or the outer atmosphere of the earth. You can see this tree of life there is speaking about what? Like the elder
constellation.
The elder brothers going into the constellation, the zodiac signs.
Yeah. Which is the the stars, you know.
Right, which is the stars, and they set up, which Esau, he has names for them, the Orion, which he got them from the ancient world, but now which they carry a vibration. That's where they base their information from, and what they call today the farmer's almanac.
Right.
That's how they're able to, you know, which they got Jake doing it, but they're able to predict if it's going to be a prosperous harvest, or if it's going to be a famine or whatever.
Yeah, and it's on point still to this day, you know. But the only thing is they're using it for wickedness, you know. And not only that, Israel lost the knowledge of doing that. Now we got that's part of the curse too. The scriptures say that we should go to this man for the want of all things. So you want to know about like the calendar or certain things that are going on as far as the constellation goes. These devils got it set up. I mean, they're not on point with it, but you know, certain things they come through with. You know, they got their eyes, so to speak, on the heavens. They got the technology. They got their telescopes. They got their Hubble telescope. They got their satellites with telescopes on them. You know, to show you what's going on with different planets that are newly forming that are like Earth. You know what I'm saying? And all that stuff. But it was the Most High gave them that technology only for us, to show us what's about to come for us, not for them. You know, 22:2. It says, in the midst of the street of it, and on either side of the river, was there the tree of life, which bare 12 manner of fruits. And you know, when you go to the zodiac, what do you have? You got 12 different signs, a sign for each month, you know. So that's, you know, pretty much as far as that goes, they're on point. But the information they get from it is not, because they're dealing with the wicked, the left-hand side. And it says, which bare 12 manner of fruits, and yielded her fruit every month. And the leaves of the tree were for the healing.
Right, and let me say this, that ain't for you cats to go start getting simple. You know, see, this is a little bit more meat. You know what I'm saying? This is, you know, if you knowing the truth or whatever, this ain't gonna make, you know, or it might be kind of going over your head or whatever. But don't get simple and think that this means to be going into the zodiac sign, reading your horoscope, and all. That's all witchcraft, man.
Right.
Don't
touch it.
Most
High,
the Most High ain't give us that right now.
Not right
Basically,
now.
I mean, at one time we used to possess the power to look at the constellation, look at the way the stars were, and tell, okay, this is about to happen. Okay, whatever. But the Most High took all that away from us. All right, we just going into this to prove to you how things were going back during the time in the garden.
And how is it going to be when we get into the kingdom, you know?
Right. So
All that's going to come back to us.
Yeah, so wait till the kingdom. Don't be sitting there getting simple. Because, see, the nigga woman, because right now, what vibration is this world under? It's under the vibration of Satan, the so-called white man. All right? So everything about it is satanic. All into the reading, which the Most High told you, don't be no damn prognosticator or nothing. Don't be into reading stars or worshiping stars or whatever. But this society, they teach you that, man. Find out what's your zodiac sign, what's your totem spirit, and all that other bullshit. Don't get into that, brothers. All right? We're just using this as edification just to show you going into the tree, going further into the tree of knowledge of good and evil going back in the garden. All right? This is what Adam and them was opened up to. All right? Which basically the other nations, like today, the so-called white man, they use that with a negative vibe. They go into that for not for righteousness, but for wickedness, under the vibration of Satan. And Adam got into that, which he was, again, like we said, he's following a custom, so forth and so on. All right, but ain't nothing new. Everything is in the scriptures.
That's right.
About the zodiac sign. That's what this is speaking about right here.
Mm-hmm.
The 12 manner of fruits is, like the brother said, is the 12 different what they call it, constellations or whatever they call it, signs.
Right.
For each month.
Zodiac signs.
Zodiac signs.
All right, in the ending of verse 2, it says, "And the leaves of the tree were for the healing of the nations." So that's pretty much part of the blessings that we're gonna get when we go into the kingdom of heaven. The understanding of all those things, which is in harmony with the Lord, in righteousness. So now we can go back to Genesis 3.
Right. So now back to Genesis, the third chapter,
and verse 3, right?
Okay, I'll read verse 3 again. It says, "But of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, the Most High have said, you should not eat of it, neither shall you touch it, lest ye die."
Right, and we just read to you of that part of that wicked tree was that the wicked side of the zodiac, the left-hand side, which is witchcraft, the praising of demons and praising these false gods and deities, polytheism, just like they're doing today. There's nothing new, man. These heathens, that's their thing. They think that the shit they got is new. It's not new, man. Well, or then again, some of them will tell you that it's ancient paganistic worship. So my thing is, if the shit didn't work out for them bastards in the ancient world, what makes it think is gonna help them out now? So someone with a logical kind of mind will say, look, I'm not gonna follow these bastards. It didn't work out for them then. How's it gonna work out for them now? Like the New World Order. That's nothing new. That goes back to Nimrod. And the first Babylonian Empire that was set up by Nimrod, and how he built that tall the world's first skyscraper. All right, if you want to put it that way, he built that tower and had all the nations going to it, and the Lord, divided all that, man. Destroyed all that. Took away that one language, the Lashwan Kodash, that all men were speaking at one time, and had them speak in different languages, and they weren't able to communicate to each other. And more proof that's true, because now today you have all these nations speaking different languages, man. But the main language that men were speaking was the Lashwan Kodash, which is the Hebrew. All right. So go ahead, brother.
All right, come. Okay, it says, verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
"And the serpent said unto the woman, You should not surely die, for the Most High doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be open, and you shall be as gods, knowing good and evil."